myself, I spent about 18 years selling to major carriers for Level 3, Global Crossing, AT&T, about 9 years banging my head against the wall while I was there. My customers and I encountered issues, everything from taking us a year to install a circuit, to limited visibility that they had into their own networks, to the high cost of the services, even making minor QoS changes could take days or weeks. And all the while, I was watching this paradigm shift from these private proprietary networks to the cloud computing, where you want employees all across the globe to be able to access your applications and run your business. So how do we address that? How do we solve for those issues? And also, another one of our goals was putting the power away from the carriers and the control back into our clients' hands. So at a macro level, we are a network as a service provider, and we have what Intel coins a software-defined infrastructure. And that comprises elements of software-defined networking, network function virtualization. Virtualization is critical to us both in our core and at our edge. Storage, as well as a very robust SD-WAN offer as part of that. So what can you expect working with us? Well, you can expect to deploy a global network in minutes. We talk about the long lead time frames. We see reduction of network OpEx in the 50 to 70% range over traditional providers. You can instantly connect any cloud provider or data center. Zero CapEx, we have an all OpEx model, and no term commitments. So we will commit to you for terms and conditions and for pricing, but you can walk away from us at any time. The reason you're going to stay is because we're solving for networking and business issues, but at any time you're free to leave Netrolix. So started in 2014, and this is our portal, which is our control plane in the SDN speak, if you will. And everything you do through Netrolix will be through that portal. So you'll be designing, deploying, creating, monitoring, managing your network. Once again, we're trying to turn the control back over to our customers and take it away from the carriers. When you come out through your site, we're agnostic to the endpoints, it'll be a Dell, Cisco, Juniper, Fortinet. You go over your existing internet connection, you go to our web-based portal, and through a couple of keystrokes, you establish a secure instant connection to our platform. And that's L2TP over IPsec, and it's encrypted at AES-256. And it's a fraction of the cost of what you're paying today with traditional providers. But it's kind of part of the solution. So what have we connected you to? So it gets a little busier on this slide. So in 2014, we had 6 data centers in the US, another 5 internationally. And to connect it, we went out, we bought all Tier 1 IP transit from the major providers to connect our data centers. And this is just a partial snapshot of the providers we work with, because it's all we can fit on the page. And I specifically say IP transit because that allowed us, just like a wholesaler would, to see all your downstream providers. And here we said, okay, you're connected to our portal. What if you go in our portal under our product tab, select software-defined global networking, and choose to stand up an MPLS connection immediately? That would be another client side on the right, or VPLS or virtual private line. And I think Jack touched on this earlier, but this isn't a version of MPLS. This isn't MPLS-like. This is RFC compliant MPLS, just like you're routing with the carriers today. And it's fully meshed. And because we could see all the downstream providers based on our algorithms, we could route on best path availability. So you would not see degradation in performance. And to you, it just looks like MPLS. This is all stuff we're doing behind the scenes. We use an IPsec core, just like the carriers use an optical core. And in doing this, we're also constantly testing endpoints to make sure we were compliant with Cisco and Juniper and Fortinet and Dell. And we kept running into a repeated issue in our labs where if Cisco advertised 50 meg throughput, we would get half that in our lab, or maybe 2/3 if we were lucky. And what we found out is when we put a realistic encryption standard and a full load on the routers, we wouldn't get anything close to the advertised throughput. And so we didn't intend to be an equipment provider, but we saw a gap in the marketplace. So in 2000, So in 2015, we came out with a line of CPE, and we took commodity hardware and we loaded our software on top of it. It's a fraction of the cost of the major providers. The throughput we advertise is the minimum you'll get. These devices have plug-and-play ability, so once you plug them in, they'll connect right up to our platform, minimizing the need for on-site expertise. They act as routers, switches, firewall bring in those critical SD-WAN functionalities where you can route applications with prioritization and load balancing across multiple links. It also has a Scout discovery feature where we'll go on site, we'll discover all of your connected devices, and we'll upload them to our platform. And then you can use our platform, you can use our portal as an orchestration platform to run your entire network, not just Netrolix-based services. And also, please note, we can work with your existing equipment as well. So we don't have to forklift the network. We can work side by side. We can't absolutely replace your network. We're a great DR option. So we see clients slowly phasing us in. And we work really well in hard-to-reach areas of the world, like Northern Africa and the Middle East, for example. And in doing this, we also were constantly building out our POPs. So I mentioned we were in 11 globally when we first started. We're now in 58 on 6 continents. And this presented a pretty unique challenge to us because we're pretty much plugged into every ISP on the planet, routing our clients' traffic across the planet. And our simple algorithms and programmings couldn't manage the load. We're looking at a multitude of performance metrics comprising millions of bits of data, and including latency, jitter, packet loss, throughput, best path availability, ISPs, and how do we solve for this? So in 2015, we took a quantum leap forward. We implemented, one too far. We implemented a machine learning artificial intelligence platform. Now, I recall someone talking about Google earlier, and I was there at a seminar they had in the fall, and the Google guy kind of puffed up his chest and was lecturing us that all they were doing was machine learning AI, and that the audience would catch up in a few years. I want to say we're already there, but we took this platform and we began deploying with multitude of performance metrics in it, and we went to test, and it blew up beyond our wildest expectations, where we see jitter, latency, packet loss numbers equal to or better than the carrier's private MPLS networks. And we enabled our AI to begin profiling ISPs and connected endpoints and data centers, and it's constantly working to optimize traffic. One of the things we encountered is Comcast in the Pacific Northwest stopped sending traffic to the tier 1 providers they peer with at 5 p.m. Their feeling is you're going home for the day, we're being charged an arm and a leg, Comcast by level 3, let's stop sending traffic and send it towards Cogent. And you, if you're working late, most likely will see a degradation in service performance. That's something we can actually route around. We can route around network congestion, so it will not impact you. And that's not something your standard routing protocols like BGP account for. BGP is link state up or down. We have another client that is based in Chennai, India, and they put their VoIP switch in New Jersey, and lo and behold, they're seeing issues across their platform. And they asked us for a solution. We said, move your VoIP switch to India, and they said, can't do it. We said, okay, then test out our platform. So they're doing a proof of concept right now from Chennai, India to Newark, New Jersey, and they're seeing 500 microseconds of jitter across our internet-based platform. And that's the sort of network consistency where you can do crystal clear voice and video. And that's a huge differentiator between us and all of our competition. We kind of get slotted in the SD-WAN space, and we hate it because it's apples and oranges. You look at all the other SD-WAN players, and they're relying on you to use your MPLS networks. They're not letting you move away. They're actually tying you to it for critical traffic. We're saying move completely off that, replace it with the high-performing network at a fraction of the cost. We also talked about cloud computing. We know that's a factor in life of businesses today. So in addition to on-site hardware, we also develop virtual routers. And you can deploy these Rackspace, software, Azure, Amazon, wherever you have a cloud presence. And we want to make it as easy as connecting one of your endpoints. So you determine the bandwidth you need, you spin up the appropriate virtual machine based on the portal, you download the virtual router, and you choose your connection type, MPLS, VPLS, virtual private line, and you're off and running. We can also optimize traffic that's not connected to our network. We have another client that we're working with that has a Salesforce deployment in London. They have end users in Australia. They're seeing performance issues going across the internet. They're going to hop on our platform from Sydney, ride it 3 continents to London, and we're going to drop them off at the nearest Salesforce POP, and they're going to see a dramatic improvement in application performance. Another thing also that our platform impacted too was not just performance but reliability. So when you connect to us, there's one line here, but actually our platform geolocates the 6 most logical POPs to your location. And selects the 3 best performing, and then it establishes 3 active IPsec connections to 3 diverse POPs. And those are all in active state. And in addition to constantly optimizing your traffic, it's evaluating those paths every 5 minutes for best performance. So that if there is never a disruption in service, we'll simply roll over the next one and backfill it. In our core, we have never had a network outage. We have the luxury, unlike the carriers, of using the entire global internet backbone as our personal LAN network. If there's a major fiber cut, and I was on the inside when it happened at level 3, yes, they have redundancy, but it introduces a ton of latency to the network, and the clients scream bloody murder until it gets up and running. We simply roll over to the next available provider, and the same goes with our data center. You know, we touched on reliability and performance. The next thing that when you say internet-based WANs, people think about security. Our CTO actually came from the U.S. Department of Defense. He's an ex-cybersecurity expert. So if anyone in the room or any of your security contacts ever wants to call to learn or talk about more of the network security, then they know what to do with, and we have to set it up. But there's 3 critical areas we focus on. Your traffic's encrypted AES 256 end-to-end all the way across our platform. We issue 4K encryption keys for every site on our network, for every VRF going across our network, and any data stored in our portal. So if you have 1,000 different sites, you have 1,000 separate keys rotating every 4 hours. That's make it virtually uncrackable. And if one site is penetrated, it will not compromise the rest of your network. Most of our competition, if you read through their literature, tells you to work with your security vendor. They use a Zscaler bolt-on. Security is an afterthought. With us, it's a primary focus of everything we do. My favorite part about this is we use the machine learning, artificial intelligence, just like we do for route optimization for network security. So we build a profile of your users, your IP addresses, your MAC addresses, your traffic flows, and we will notify you if there's a deviation in traffic. Target, which I believe the bill on their half from a year ago is up to $100 million in counting, was initially penetrated through a thermostat. And they were hacked into a thermostat and their network was compromised for about 2 months as they lost a ton of data and 65 million credit cards. If they were using our platform, it would have notified the network administrator and say, unrecognized device passing network traffic. You need to check this out. What was a multi-million-dollar hack would have been stopped in a matter of hours or days as opposed to months. In regards to roadmap, we're working to go out in IoT in Q3 2017. It's a natural extension for us for the performance and security. IoT right now is kind of the Wild West on the security front. I think you saw the dying half that shut down the East Coast internet. Half of that, the DDoS attack, was done through baby monitors. And you know, we definitely do deep dive breakouts on this, but it's a natural extension for both the reliability, security, and performance. And I'll leave you with one last slide. So this is our current global deployment. Like I said, we're in 58 data centers across the globe, slated to be in 100 by the end of the year. And it takes us 2 to 3 weeks to open up a new POP. We had a client that had to be in South Africa. We said, no problem, give us 2 weeks. We'll be in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Go to a carrier and ask them how long it takes them to open a new POP. I was at AT&T when it took us a year and a half to get some more online. And like I said, this is slated to grow. And one other point, if you notice on this map, there's no fiber routes like you would typically see. That's because it would be every route across the planet. And as I said, by the end of the year, we're slated to grow to 100 POPs globally. Imagine the power of a machine learning artificial intelligence platform that's plugged into 100 POPs on every inhabited continent on the planet and every major ISP backbone. Ladies and gentlemen, humbly, this is